Big Air ceiling fan model ICF96. This is a 96-inch, 8-foot diameter ceiling fan. Comes with everything you see, and we'll go through everything to make sure everything is there before we begin the assembly process. So number one is the mounting bracket, and that is mounted already in the ceiling. Fan assembly, which includes the motor, this, hanger cover, down rod, and canopy cover. Put those all together there. You have the blades, all wrapped up still, 9 of these. Blade holder. You have the bracket kit, which are these. You have decorative blade kit, which is this. The bottom cover, which is this. Remote control transmitter. Comes with a battery. And then you have a kit here. It's got all the screws for the motor, for the fans, for anything and everything you're going to need to mount this up. Even, there they are, even wire nuts. It's got everything you're going to need here. That's everything, so everything is included. Now we can start the assembly process and get this hung up. Now we're going to go through this direction step by step so you understand exactly how this is going together and mount it to your ceiling. It will go through some basic fundamentals, and then it goes over here, and basically this is already put together to hang the motor in the ceiling bracket. It doesn't tell you the assembly process, so I'm going to show you and make sure you do it properly. It is easier to take this apart, run the wire through, mount this on the motor, then put everything on and put this back on last. It just makes it more simplified. So we're going to take this apart. You need a Phillips screwdriver. In my case, I have an impact. Going to screw this screw off. Loosens this up. Slides through. Whoop. Pin falls out. Set that in here and want to set it aside. Take your down rod. Get all this wire. And you're going to feed it through. And it goes in like that. In your hardware kit, you'll have a bag that's got 3 wire nuts. It's got this big pin, a clip, and a couple screws. That clip is what goes through there and holds this down rod on. Feed this through just like that. You'll find the hole and then clamp it through. Next, you're going to take the cover, feed it through the wire, take all this, and you're going to slide it over. And that covers that up. Next, you're going to take your canopy cover, just like that. And now we can go back and reinstall this. What I normally do, I will split the wires. Put that on there. And there you have it. It does not show you in the directions anything about how that assembly goes. So now we're going to go up, we're going to hang it up. Now one thing, there is a notch right here. You line that notch up with the notch or the groove on the mounting ball here. So I have to spin that around, slide that in, find that hole, that little notch there, slide right in. That's where it mounts. All the green wires are the ground. They go to the copper wire out of the lead coming out of the ceiling. White wires all go to the white wire, and the black wire all go to the black wire. Now the safety cable that comes attached to the fan, there is no real detailed instructions on exactly what you're supposed to do. Now at the end, they have this loop, and it was smaller, of course. I've got it to open up finally. And you see there's this little ring right here that you crimp onto the cable once you get it, I guess, to the desired length. At first, I couldn't get it to move, so I ended up having to take pliers, kind of hold the brass ring here, pull, yank on the cable, so I finally got it to slide through. So we're going to shorten it up and we're going to connect it. Also, another note, it comes with a screw, comes with a bracket. Bracket's got kind of an old long one end and a more circular end. Neither one is really opened up, so I'm going to have to bend that a little bit to be able to get the cable in. So the elongated one, that's more of a loop, that's where I'm going to hang the cable onto. Screw provided, unfortunately, kind of just will slide right in and out of that bracket. So I had to go through my drawer of washers. I found a washer, fit it onto the supplied screw, then slide that all through, and that's what it's going to be like. The only thing that comes with the directions as far as that safety cable is just it. You put the bracket up, hook the cable to it. That's it. Remember, I was going to crimp it. Well, the stupid thing broke. So I had to come up with my own solution. Since that stupid thing broke, I could not get it to crimp. Hooked it on the supplied bracket. I just got a butt connector that allowed me to put the cable through, looped it around, actually came out here, went down and looped it again for added strength, so if it does come up, this is not going to pull out. Crimped it on both ends like a butt connector. That thing's sturdy. You see these little screws, you have to have those loosened up. You just tuck these in, just tuck all the stuff in, slide this up. You line up the screws just like that, turn it, and now you tighten these up. And one thing we didn't show, this cover was on there. Basically it's just these little bitty clips on the back. You just push it with your finger from the inside of this. You just push it with your finger, it'll pop out. It's just a little beauty ring that covers that up. You just simply line those holes back up, snap it in there, and that's it. Let's start assembling the blades. So the next step, we have to attach the blade holder to the motor housing so we can start attaching all the individual fan blades. Now you see on the blade holder you have this little stick here. It's got an arrow and a mark. On the motor housing it has the same thing. What we have to do, we have to line those two marks up. All the various packets of screws, the one pack that's got 6 screws, that's the one you want to use to mount this. Now there are 3 slots to put screws in, set it in before you tighten it all up. We have to do this. There we go. Then we'll be able to set that plate on and it'll line up. There. You see the arrow and the line line up. That's where we want it. It's got to be right there. There it goes. These other ones started. Now tighten everything up and we're good to go. In the order that these are to go on, it says right here, insert blade screws through the blade assembly in the following order. Blade holder, which we've already mounted. Next thing is the blade, and then the blade bracket kit. Then secure the blade holder and by tightening the 3 screws. Oh, the packet that you're going to use has got 27 screws in it, 27 washers in it. This is the plate, and then here's your fan blade. And there's 3 screws, 3 washers per blade. Now there is a sticker on here that states this side up. So that means it's going to go on the fan like that. Your little bracket here will go underneath. Grab you a washer and a screw. Line that up. go by hand tighten all these. And that's the first one. Now we're going to flip it 180. We'll put one here. That way we can keep it balanced as we go. There. Cool. 2 down. A few more to go. Put this on, we're going to cover this up. One of the last things to do, you grab the little end caps and we're going to set them on the end of the fan blade, and you get the packet that has 10 screws in it. So you snap that on, just like that, and then the screw goes in through the top up here to secure it. Just like that. I'm going to finish the rest of these. Fan is assembled, wiring is all connected. All we have to do now is set up the remote and give this a test. Once you install the battery into the remote from the factory, it is already set. You should not have to pair it. It states right here, the pairing of transmitter and receiver is not required if only one ceiling fan is installed. If you do have more than one on the same line close in the same area, you're going to have to follow directions and set them up individually. If you install it, get everything set up, turn it on, and it does not, either the fan only runs at high speed after installation, has no reverse function, or the remote cannot communicate with the receiver, which was my case. Actually, all three. The fan was only running at high speed. It would not reverse, would not stop. Anything, if I used control, would not change speed or stop. So all these, I did have the problem. If that is the case, there are instances that the control and the receiver have lost their connection. With that, you have to go through the instructions, and it tells you how to take out the battery, turn off power, put it in the battery, turn the power on, push the set button, reprogram it. I did that. It all works fine now. Unfortunately, it makes a little bit of a noise, and I'm going to demonstrate that. I want you to see something. I'm going to zoom it in. Watch that motor. I called the manufacturer today. They sent me an email and with instructions, which we are going to go over. I'm going to show you what it does. Then we're going to look at the email and follow their instructions, and hopefully it fixes this problem. Turn it on. See how that thing, the whole motor housing shifts and jiggles like it's trying to engage and something's slipping. You see it act. Now I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to disconnect the power, and we're going to look at the email and go up there and make the necessary repairs or adjustment, whatever. The instructions aren't real detailed. Kind of gives you the basics, wiring, what you got to do. This is what it hangs. You got these two screws that hold the canopy on. You put the blade attachment, the blade holder on, then you put the blades on, then you go through the setup. Well, when I contacted the manufacturer, they sent me an email with these pictures on. You got this pin that sits in there. On the side there's two holes. It did not say anything in the directions about putting these two screws on. And right here they are. Two extra screws. I didn't know where they went. Evidently, those two screws have to be in there to prevent the motor from jerking. Those two screws right there. These are the screws that must be in place and tightened to prevent the fan from jerking on startup, and that's exactly what it's doing. Let's get up on the fan and install these. Slide that up out of the way for now. With these two screws, I am going to put one on this side of that pin and on this side. So let me put these in. We're going to tighten up, button this all up, and we'll try it again. I have the 2 screws installed. They're tight. Now let's get back down, turn it on, and see if this thing still jerks or not. With the necessary repair now, hopefully that was the problem. I'm going to turn the power back on, and we're going to try it again. Power is on. Turn this on. Let's do number 3. Oh, look at that. No more clickety-clack, jerkety-jack. And it's warm out here, so this air circulation is going to be huge. Keeping the shop cool. Go number 6, high speed. Stop.